It's 2 a.m. in a compound outside Abbottabad. Rotor wash shatters silence, gunfire erupts, and 40 minutes later the most wanted man on earth is dead. The team that killed him vanishes into the darkness carrying weapons most soldiers will never touch. Forget what the movies showed you. Every weapon in their arsenal was chosen through blood, failure, and missions, where one malfunction meant death. From Vietnam's rivers to midnight raids where silence decided survival, these firearms were tested in conditions that would break conventional forces. These are the weapons that didn't just complete missions. They made impossible missions possible. Number 15. Mk-13. Mod 7 Sniper Rifle, the long-range answer. When SEALs needed to reach out beyond 1,000 meters, standard sniper rifles started showing their limits. Wind, elevation, and target movement required something more precise, something built specifically for the chaos of variable conditions. The Mark 13 Mod 7 emerged as that solution. Based on the Remington 700 Action, a platform trusted by hunters and military snipers for decades, the Mark 13 was rebuilt from the ground up for naval special warfare. It chambered 300 Win Mag, a cartridge powerful enough to maintain energy at extreme distances while remaining controllable in trained hands. The rifle featured a stainless steel barrel, a Macmillan A5 stock, and optics capable of calculations most shooters never attempt. In Afghanistan's mountains, where enemies appeared as distant shapes against ridgelines, the Mark 13 gave SEALs the reach to eliminate threats before they knew American forces were even present. The weapon wasn't about flashy kills. It was about mathematics, patience, and the ability to remove a target from so far away that by the time anyone realized what happened, the shooter had already disappeared. Its precision turned long-range engagements from gambles into certainties. For SEAL snipers tasked with overwatch or high-value target elimination, the Mark 13 Mod 7 wasn't just a rifle. It was insurance that distance wouldn't protect the enemy. Number 14. Mark 46, Light Machine Gun, Suppressive Fire, redesigned. Every special operations team needs sustained firepower, but traditional machine guns created problems. The M249 SAW served conventional infantry well, but for SEALs conducting raids in tight urban spaces or moving fast through enemy territory, it was too heavy and too cumbersome. The Mk-46 solved that. A modified version of the M249, it stripped away unnecessary weight while keeping the firepower that mattered. It fired 5.56 NATO from belt-fed ammunition, delivering sustained automatic fire that could pin enemies or provide cover during extractions. The weapon's lighter barrel and polymer heat shield meant operators could carry it longer without exhaustion. Its open bolt design kept it cool during extended engagements. In Ramadi, Fallujah, and across Iraq's urban battlefields, SEAL machine gunners used the Mach 46 to suppress entire buildings, allowing assault teams to breach and clear without taking fire. The gun didn't just shoot, it controlled space, dictating where enemies could move and where they couldn't. Its rate of fire, around 750 rounds per minute, was fast enough to overwhelm, but slow enough to remain accurate. For teams that move light and hit hard, the Mark 46 provided the heavy punch without the heavy burden. It was firepower made portable, suppression without sacrifice. Number 13. Sig Sauer P-226. The sidearm SEALs chose themselves. In the early 1980s, the US military adopted the Beretta M9 as its standard sidearm. Most units accepted it without question. SEALs didn't. They had operated in conditions where a pistol malfunction could mean death, and they wanted something better, something proven in saltwater, mud, and the worst environments combat could offer. They chose the Sig Sauer P-226. The Navy tested it alongside the Beretta, and while the Beretta won the contract for cost reasons, SEALs saw something different. The P-226 was more reliable under abuse. Its stainless steel slide resisted corrosion in maritime environments. Its double-action trigger allowed safe carry with a round chambered, and it held 15 rounds of 9mm, more capacity than most competitors. For decades, the P-226 became the SEAL standard. Carried on ship raids, jungle insertions, and desert operations, it proved itself in every climate. The weapon wasn't flashy, it was simply dependable. When a SEAL drew his sidearm, it meant his rifle was down and things had gone wrong. The P-226 ensured that even in the worst moment, the gun would fire. Its balance made it accurate under stress. Its construction meant it worked when covered in sand, soaked in seawater, or dropped in mud. The Sig Sauer P-226 wasn't issued by bureaucrats. It was chosen by operators who knew their lives might depend on 15 rounds and a trigger pull. Number 12. Make 23 SOCOM pistol, the hand cannon they couldn't carry. In the early 1990s, SOCOM wanted the ultimate offensive handgun. Not a backup weapon, but a primary tool for close quarters killing. The requirements were ambitious. It had to fire 4.5 ACP for maximum stopping power. It had to accept a suppressor and laser aiming module. It had to function in every environment, from Arctic cold to desert heat. And it had to be accurate enough for headshots at 50 meters. Heckler & Koch delivered the Mk-23. It was enormous, nearly 12 inches long, and weighed over 2.5 pounds empty. With the suppressor attached, it looked more like a science fiction prop than a combat pistol. But it worked flawlessly. Its accuracy was unmatched for a handgun. Its suppressor reduced gunfire to a mechanical whisper. In testing, it fired 30,000 rounds without failure. On paper, it was the perfect special operations pistol. In reality, it was too heavy. SEALs who carried it on missions quickly realized the problem. The weapon was so large and cumbersome that it became a burden. Holstering it required oversized gear. Drawing it took longer than smaller pistols. And for teams already loaded with rifles, ammunition, and equipment, every ounce mattered. The Mark 23 became a victim of its own ambition. It proved that perfection in design doesn't always mean perfection in the field. Today, it remains in limited service for specific missions, where its suppressed accuracy justifies its weight. But for most operators, it was the hand cannon that stayed in the armory. A legend of capability that reality couldn't quite support. Number 11. M4A1 CQBR. Close quarters made faster. By the early 2000s, SEALs faced a problem. Urban combat in Iraq and Afghanistan demanded compact weapons that could navigate tight hallways and vehicle interiors, but standard M4 carbines, with their 14.5-inch barrels, still felt too long. The answer was the close quarter battle receiver, known as the CQBR. It took the M4A1 platform SEALs already trusted and shortened the barrel to 10 inches. The result was a weapon optimized for speed. Inside buildings, vehicles, and narrow alleyways, the CQBR allowed operators to maneuver faster than enemies could react. Its shortened profile meant corners weren't obstacles, and doorways didn't require repositioning. Clearing rooms became fluid, with the weapon always in position before the target appeared. But velocity had a cost. The shorter barrel meant reduced muzzle velocity and increased muzzle flash. Suppressors became almost mandatory to manage the blast and noise. Accuracy beyond 200 meters degraded compared to longer-barreled rifles. But in close quarters, those limitations didn't matter. Engagements happened at arm's reach, and speed trumped range every time. The CQBR wasn't designed for open desert firefights. It was built for midnight raids, where every second counted, and hesitation meant casualties. In Fallujah's dense urban maze and throughout Iraq's cities, SEALs carrying CQBRs moved with a confidence that standard infantry couldn't match. The weapon gave them the edge, measured in fractions of seconds. And in combat, fractions of seconds decide who walks away. Number 10. M203 Grenade Launcher. Explosive reach for the infantry. Since Vietnam, American forces needed a way to deliver explosive firepower beyond throwing distance without calling in heavy support. The M203 grenade launcher solved that. Mounted beneath an M16 or M4, it fired 40mm grenades up to 400 meters, giving individual soldiers the ability to engage enemies behind cover, destroy light vehicles, or clear bunkers. For SEALs, the M203 became a standard attachment. In Afghanistan, where enemies often occupied fortified positions in mountainous terrain, the grenade launcher provided immediate indirect fire without waiting for air support or mortars. An operator could place a high explosive round through a window or behind a rock formation with accuracy that rifle fire couldn't achieve. The weapon's simplicity made it reliable. A breech-loaded single-shot design meant fewer parts to fail. The grenades themselves came in multiple variants. High explosive for personnel, buckshot for close range, smoke for concealment, and illumination for night operations. This versatility meant one launcher could serve multiple roles, depending on the mission. But it required skill. Lobbing a grenade accurately meant understanding trajectory, windage, and distance estimation. Inexperienced users could miss by meters. Trained SEAL operators turned it into precision fire, dropping rounds exactly where needed. The M203 wasn't glamorous, and it added weight to an already heavy loadout. But when the team needed to eliminate a threat without exposing themselves to direct fire, it delivered results. Simple, proven, effective. A weapon that gave small teams the punch of a light artillery piece. Number 9. Mk18 Mod 0, the weapon that replaced the CQBR. The CQBR proved that shorter was better for close quarters, but it had limitations. Built as a field modification rather than a purpose-designed weapon, it lacked standardization. Different units configured theirs differently, creating logistical headaches and reliability concerns. Naval Special Warfare needed a unified solution. The result was the Mk18 Mod 0. Officially adopted in the mid-2000s, it standardized everything the CQBR had improvised. A 10.3-inch barrel, a Daniel Defense rail system for accessories, and a flat-top receiver for optics became the baseline. Every Mk18 coming out of the armory was identical, which meant parts, training, and maintenance were universal. The weapon kept the CQBR's advantages: lightning fast in confined spaces, maneuverable in vehicles, and devastating at close range. But it added reliability through consistent manufacturing and quality control. SEALs trusted it implicitly. In Afghanistan's compounds and Iraq's cities, the Mk18 became the primary weapon for assault teams. When operators fast-roped from helicopters or breached doors under fire, this was the rifle in their hands. Its shorter length meant it never snagged on gear or walls. Its stopping power at close range ended threats immediately. And its modularity allowed each operator to configure optics, lights, and lasers to personal preference. The Mk18 Mod 0 wasn't a modification anymore. It was a purpose-built system designed around how SEALs actually fought. Compact, lethal, and reliable. A weapon that didn't compromise. It simply delivered what operators needed in the kill zone. Number 8. M79 Grenade Launcher. Vietnam's blooper that changed warfare. Before the M203, there was the M79. In Vietnam, infantry discovered that rifle fire couldn't reach enemies hiding in dense jungle or fortified positions. Mortars required setup time. Artillery took too long to call. What they needed was portable explosive reach, and the M79 delivered it. Soldiers called it the blooper for the distinctive thump it made when fired. It was a break-action single-shot weapon, almost like a giant shotgun, that fired 40mm grenades up to 350 meters. Simple, reliable, and devastatingly effective. For Navy SEALs operating in Vietnam's rivers and jungles, the M79 became essential. Viet Cong ambushes often came from concealed positions where rifle fire was ineffective. A well-placed grenade could clear a tree line or suppress an enemy bunker long enough for the team to maneuver or extract. The weapon wasn't automatic, and reloading took time, which made the grenadier vulnerable. But the tactical advantage it provided outweighed the risk. Operators learned to judge distance by instinct, lobbing grenades with accuracy that seemed impossible. Some became so skilled they could drop rounds into windows or behind cover from hundreds of meters away. The M79's simplicity also meant it worked in conditions that broke more complex weapons. Mud, water, humidity, nothing stopped the blooper from firing. When the military moved to underbarrel grenade launchers, like the M203, the M79 faded from frontline service. But it had already proven the concept that every infantryman should have access to explosive firepower. For the SEALs who carried it through Vietnam's hell, the M79 wasn't outdated. It was the tool that kept them alive when bullets weren't enough. Before we move on, if you had to choose one weapon from this list to carry into a midnight raid, which would it be? The compact Mk18 for speed, the suppressed Mk23 for silent kills, or the M79 for explosive reach? Tell me your pick down below. I want to see what you'd trust when everything goes wrong. Number 7. Heckler & Koch MP5, the submachine gun that defined an era. In 1980, the world watched as British SAS operators stormed the Iranian embassy in London, ending a 6-day siege in 17 minutes. The weapon in their hands was the Heckler & Koch MP5, and overnight it became the symbol of counterterrorism. For Navy SEALs, the MP5 had already proven itself. Since the 1970s, they had used it for shipboarding, hostage rescue, and any mission where stealth and close-quarters accuracy mattered more than raw firepower. The MP5 fired 9mm rounds from a closed bolt system, which meant unmatched accuracy for a submachine gun. Its roller-delayed blowback action kept recoil manageable, allowing operators to place precise shots even on full auto. For SEALs conducting ship takedowns or embassy rescues, this precision was critical. A stray round could kill a hostage. The MP5 ensured that didn't happen. Its compact size made it perfect for confined spaces. In the tight corridors of ships or aircraft, where rifles felt cumbersome, the MP5 moved like an extension of the operator's body. And, with a suppressor attached, it became one of the quietest firearms in existence. SEALs could eliminate sentries without alerting nearby enemies, but by the 2000s, its limitations became clear. Body armor rendered 9mm less effective, longer-range engagements required more power, and conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan demanded rifles over submachine guns. Still, the MP5 remained in the arsenal for specific missions: counterterrorism, VIP protection, and situations where over-penetration was a concern. It wasn't the primary weapon anymore, but it never lost its reputation. The Heckler & Koch MP5 defined what a submachine gun should be: accurate, reliable, and precise. For an entire generation of special operators, it was the weapon that turned close-quarters combat into an art form. Number 6. MK-14 Enhanced Battle Rifle, bringing back the big round. By 2005, SEALs in Afghanistan faced a problem. Engagements happened at distances where 5.56 NATO lost effectiveness. Taliban fighters positioned themselves on mountainsides 400, 500, 600 meters away, and standard M4 rifles couldn't reach them with sufficient energy. The solution was to bring back a cartridge that conventional forces had abandoned decades earlier: 7.62 NATO. The MK-14 EBR, Enhanced Battle Rifle, took the M14 platform from Vietnam and modernized it. A telescoping stock replaced the wooden furniture. Picatinny rails allowed optics and accessories. And the selective fire capability let operators choose semi-auto for precision or full auto for suppression. The result was a rifle that hit hard at long range. 7.62 NATO maintained energy and accuracy far beyond what 5.56 could achieve. In Afghanistan's mountainous terrain, SEAL marksmen used the Mark 14 to eliminate targets at distances that would have been impossible with standard carbines. The weapon bridged the gap between assault rifle and sniper rifle. It gave designated marksmen in a squad the ability to reach out and touch threats before they became dangers. But power came with weight. The Mach 14 was significantly heavier than an M4, and its recoil demanded more training to control. Full auto was nearly unmanageable for most shooters. And the 20-round magazines meant less capacity than standard rifle mags. Still, for missions where reach mattered more than weight, the Mark 14 delivered. It proved that sometimes older designs, when properly modernized, could outperform newer technology. The MK-14 EBR wasn't a replacement for the M4. It was a specialist tool for specialist problems. And in the mountains where distance decided survival, it became the rifle that gave SEALs the reach they desperately needed. Number 5. M60E 3 machine gun, the pig that never quit. In Vietnam, the M60 earned a reputation and a nickname. Soldiers called it the pig. It was heavy, around 23 pounds, and its early models suffered from reliability issues. Feed trays jammed, barrels overheated, and the weapon punished operators who didn't maintain it obsessively. But when it worked, it delivered firepower that could change battles. For SEALs operating in Vietnam's rivers and jungles, the M60 became essential. Patrol boats mounted them for suppressive fire during ambushes. Ground teams carried them for base defense and assaults, where sustained automatic fire meant the difference between breaking contact and being overrun. The weapon fired 7.62 NATO from belt-fed ammunition, and its rate of 600 rounds per minute could shred vegetation, suppress enemy positions, and provide cover for maneuvering forces. By the time the M60E3 variant arrived, many of the original's problems had been solved. The E3 model reduced weight, improved the feed system, and added a forward pistol grip that gave operators better control. It became the weapon SEAL machine gunners trusted. Its sustained fire capability meant that one operator could hold an entire sector, allowing the rest of the team to focus on their objectives. In firefights, where ammunition expenditure didn't matter as much as keeping enemy heads down, the M60 excelled. But it was never perfect. The pig remained heavy, difficult to clean, and prone to malfunctions if not properly maintained. Later weapons would replace it, offering lighter weight and better reliability. But for a generation of SEALs who carried it through Vietnam and beyond, the M60E3 was the machine gun that refused to quit. Heavy, brutal, and relentlessly effective when it mattered most. Number 4. Mk-48 machine gun, the lightweight heavyweight. As operations in Iraq and Afghanistan intensified, SEALs needed a machine gun that delivered M240 power without M240 weight. The M240 fired 7.62 NATO with devastating effect, but at over 27 pounds, it slowed teams down. The answer came from FN Herstal, the Mk-48. Based on the Minimi platform, it fired the same 7.62 NATO cartridge as the M240, but weighed nearly 10 pounds less. That weight savings meant machine gunners could move faster, carry more ammunition, and maintain mobility during extended operations. The weapon's design borrowed from the M249 SAW, using a similar gas system and feed mechanism, but scaled up for the larger cartridge. In Afghanistan's mountains, the Mark 48 proved its worth. SEAL fire teams used it to suppress enemy positions at ranges where 5.56 lost effectiveness. Its accuracy allowed operators to place sustained fire on targets 600 meters away, something traditional machine guns struggled with. The weapon's lighter weight also meant it could be hip-fired during assaults, a technique impossible with heavier guns. But the Mark 48 wasn't without compromises. Its lighter barrel overheated faster than the M240's. Sustained fire required more frequent barrel changes. And while 10 pounds lighter sounds significant, it was still a heavy weapon to hump through mountains and deserts. For SEAL teams, the calculation was simple. The Mark 48 gave them 7.62 firepower, without the penalty of excessive weight. It allowed machine gunners to keep pace with assaulters and still deliver devastating suppression when contact was made. The Mark 48 wasn't perfect, but it was the best balance between power and portability that technology could deliver. A machine gun that proved weight matters as much as caliber. Number 3. FN SCAR, the rifle designed for special operations. In 2004, SOCOM issued a challenge to weapons manufacturers: build a modular rifle system that could be configured for multiple roles, calibers, and mission sets. It had to be more reliable than the M4, more accurate at range, and adaptable enough to serve as both a close-quarters weapon and a designated marksman rifle. FN Herstal responded with the Special Operations Forces Combat Assault Rifle, the SCAR. The weapon came in 2 variants: the SCAR Light, chambered in 5.56 NATO, and the SCAR Heavy, firing 7.62 NATO. Both shared the same operating system, controls, and manual of arms, which meant operators trained on one could immediately use the other. For SEALs, the SCAR represented the future. Its gas piston operating system ran cleaner than the M4's direct impingement, reducing fouling and increasing reliability. Its free-floating barrel improved accuracy, and its fully ambidextrous controls meant it worked for left or right-handed shooters without modification. The SCAR Heavy, designated the Mach 17, gave SEALs a 7.62 rifle lighter than the Mach 14 and more modern than any battle rifle in the inventory. In Afghanistan, where long-range engagements dominated, the Merc 17 became a favorite among operators who needed to reach out past 400 meters. Its modularity also meant mission-specific configurations. Operators could swap barrels, change stocks, and adjust the weapon to fit the operation. A close quarters variant with a short barrel for urban raids, a longer barrel for open terrain. The same rifle, different configurations. But adoption was inconsistent. The SCAR Light struggled to differentiate itself enough from the M4 to justify wholesale replacement. The SCAR Heavy found more success, but budget constraints limited how many units received it. Still, the SCAR proved the concept of modular weapon systems. It showed that one platform could serve multiple roles, if designed correctly. For the SEALs who carried it, the FN SCAR wasn't just another rifle. It was the weapon designed specifically for how they fought. Number 2. Mk11 Sniper Rifle, the semi-auto precision answer. For decades, military snipers relied on bolt-action rifles. Remington, 700s, Winchester Model 70s, weapons that required manual cycling between shots. This worked for single-target engagements where one shot, one kill was the standard. But in Iraq and Afghanistan, SEALs faced different scenarios, multiple targets appearing simultaneously. Enemies moving through compounds where follow-up shots needed to happen in seconds, not minutes. Bolt actions couldn't keep up. The Mach 11 Mod 0 changed that. Based on the SR-25 platform designed by Eugene Stoner and Knights Armament, it was a semi-automatic sniper rifle chambered in 7.62 NATO. It looked like an oversized AR-15, because, functionally, that's what it was. The same direct impingement system, the same manual of arms, but scaled up for a full power cartridge and built to sniper rifle tolerances. The Mk11 allowed SEAL snipers to engage multiple targets without breaking position. In Overwatch scenarios where operators protected assault teams, the ability to fire accurate follow-up shots immediately meant threats could be neutralized before they reached friendly forces. The 20-round magazines gave snipers sustained firepower that bolt actions couldn't match. In urban environments like Ramadi and Fallujah, where targets appeared in windows and doorways unpredictably, the Mark 11's semi-auto capability kept pace with the chaos. Snipers could engage, assess, and re-engage faster than enemies could react. But semi-auto came with trade-offs. The weapon was heavier than bolt actions. Its mechanical complexity meant more potential failure points, and purists argued that bolt actions were inherently more accurate. Testing proved otherwise. In trained hands, the Mach 11 delivered precision equal to bolt guns while providing firepower they couldn't match. After years of combat, the Mach 11 proved that semi-automatic sniper rifles weren't just viable, they were superior for modern warfare. It changed how the military thought about precision fire. Today, most services have adopted semi-auto platforms for designated marksmen and snipers. The Mark 11 started that shift. A weapon that proved speed and accuracy weren't mutually exclusive. Number 1. HK-416, the rifle that killed bin Laden. On May 2, 2011, a SEAL team entered a compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan. Their target was Osama bin Laden, the architect of September 11th and the most wanted man on Earth. The weapon they carried was the HK-416. What made this rifle different wasn't just who it killed, but why it existed at all. By the mid-2000s, SEALs loved the M4 platform but hated its reliability problems. The direct impingement gas system, where propellant gases blow back into the receiver, caused fouling, overheating, and malfunctions during extended firefights. Operators needed something more dependable. Heckler & Koch had a solution. Take the M4's ergonomics and manual of arms, which operators had trained on for years, and replace the unreliable gas system with a short-stroke piston design borrowed from the G36. The result was the HK-416. To the untrained eye, it looked identical to an M4. Same controls, same magazines, same feel. But internally, it was completely redesigned. The piston system kept propellant gases out of the receiver, which meant less fouling, less heat, and fewer malfunctions. In torture tests, the HK-416 fired thousands of rounds without cleaning and kept functioning. Dropped in sand, submerged in water, frozen and thawed, it worked when M4S jammed. For naval special warfare, this reliability was critical. Missions happened in environments where weapon maintenance wasn't always possible. Insertions via water, operations in desert sandstorms, raids where speed mattered more than cleaning rifles. The HK-416 gave SEALs confidence that their weapon wouldn't fail when failure meant death. But adoption was complicated. The rifle cost significantly more than M4S, and for most conventional units, the M4's reliability was sufficient. Only Special Operations Forces, where budgets were larger and missions more critical, could justify the expense. SEALs began using the HK-416 in the mid-2000s, and by the time of the Abbottabad raid, it had proven itself across Iraq and Afghanistan. The weapon that ended bin Laden wasn't chosen for that specific mission. It was chosen because after years of combat, it had never let operators down. The HK-416 represents the evolution of the AR-15 platform. It kept everything that worked and fixed everything that didn't. It proved that sometimes the best weapon isn't revolutionary, it's refinement, taking a proven design and making it absolutely reliable. For the SEALs who carried it into the most dangerous operations on Earth, the HK-416 wasn't just another rifle. It was trust made of steel and certainty that when the trigger was pulled, the weapon would fire. Every single time. These 15 weapons tell a story that official histories rarely admit. The best firearms weren't always chosen by committees or manufactured by the lowest bidder. They were selected by operators who understood that equipment failures in their world didn't mean paperwork, they meant body bags. From Vietnam's rivers to Mogadishu's streets to Afghanistan's mountains, every weapon on this list earned its place through performance under conditions where second chances didn't exist. Some became legends, others were quietly replaced, but each one shaped how America's most elite warriors fought, adapted, and survived. The weapons changed, but the mission never did. Get in, complete the objective, get out. And whether it was a suppressed pistol in 1970 or a modernized rifle in 2011, the tool in a SEAL's hands had to be absolutely reliable. Because when you're operating in enemy territory with no backup and no margin for error, your weapon isn't just equipment. It's the difference between mission success and becoming a cautionary tale whispered in training compounds. If you want to keep uncovering the weapons, tactics, and untold stories that shaped modern warfare, subscribe and stay locked in. The next deep dive might just change how you see the invisible wars fought in your name.